Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to show you the tools in Marmalead that have not changed. And actually, let me just skip right over to Marmalead because there's a few things that are still the same after they did this update. And if you're not familiar with Marmalead, it's an Etsy SEO and keyword research tool. And it's the only one that I use and recommend because it has everything that you need in it, and it doesn't have a lot of junk in it that will distract you and make you feel like you're doing stuff, but it ends up just being busy work and you don't need it anyway. Okay, so let's go on over to Marmalead, and I will show you the sections that have not changed after this big update. So in Marmalead, I've already gone over the search tool and the listings tool, and those are the two that have changed formats. They've added things, they've taken things out. And if you're used to using Marmalead and you were relying on the grades, number one, that wasn't really a great thing to do. The grades are just there to show you what you might want to work on. And just remember that any tool is a tool. You still have to use your brain. You can't copy and paste without thinking about it. Just use your discretion when you're using a tool, okay? And you have to use it the right way. Now, the storm tool, I don't think has changed. And it might have changed just by the way that they're looking at keywords now. I'm not sure, but I think the major changes are the grades and that kind of thing. But the storm tool is my favorite part of Marmalead. It always has been because it gives you ideas. So let's click new storm, and I'm going to put in boho bracelet. Okay, because why not? So what's going to happen is Marmalead is now looking at all of the searches that are related to the words boho bracelet. And it's just looking at that one term. So if you want to go in and put a different word in, you can make a different list. And what you do here is you go in and you say, yes, this is related, or no, this is not related. So yeah, let's say yes. So I'm going to put that in the bucket. Okay, so we're going to put it over here, and that moves it over here. Now, the important thing, and I think that people don't do this, is that you have to cross things out because that'll tell Marmalead that, no, this term is not related to what I'm talking about. So instead of just skipping it and choosing the things that do work, you really need to click that out. So it's not decor, it's not a dress. It's not earrings. I'm not going to put boho earrings because that's not what I'm talking about. And that'll bring up all kinds of earring terms. Because what's happening here is every time you click on a yes, this is related, it adds things at the very end of the list. So see, right now we're at wall art. That's the last thing it has. So let's keep an eye on that. And I'm going to say, no, it's not a headpiece, but boho jewelry, yes, that is related. So I'm going to put that in the bucket. Let me see. It's not a mug. It's not a necklace. It's not a nursery. It's not a printable set, not prints, not room decor. This is kind of strange. It's just looking at the word boho, I think, right now. So, because usually it will add more things or it brings up other things. Earrings, maxi dress, wall decor, adjustable bracelet. Let's say that it is. Okay, so let's put adjustable bracelet and also beaded bracelet and beaded bracelets, beaded jewelry. Yeah, bohemian bracelet. Yes. Okay, so now I'm going to go back down here because I've added a few things. And here's wall art, and see what it's done now. It's added all of this other stuff down here. Okay, and it's all bracelet stuff and beaded. See, they're looking at the words in the search terms. So now it gives you more bracelet search terms and it gives you more beaded search terms. So as you're going through this, you can just keep adding things to this bucket. It will sort it by engagement, search engagement and competition. So you're going to see the little indicator green or red or orange. You can just keep doing this. And then when you're done, let's say that I'm done, I'm going to click save over here. And that is going to save the bucket. Okay. Now you could also add things to a list. So this little list icon, you can take this one keyword and put it on a list. So let's say that I wanted to do a list for beaded. So I'm going to put create and add because we are going to look at lists in a minute. Now, when I go to Storm, it shows up here as a saved bucket, and I can go back to this and keep working on it. Okay, so that's the Storm tool. I love this tool because it will bring up words that you might not have thought of, right? So it's just a good tool to use, but you do have to tell it no. You have to say yes and no. You can't just ignore things. Like if it's not a 14 karat gold bracelet, you tell it no. It's not an adjustable face mask, not an adjustable ring. Aesthetic, I'm going to put yes because I want to see what it comes up with for that. But see, this is the kind of thing you just have to go through and choose the words that you want it to look at. And maybe if I scroll down here now, we're going to see aesthetic keywords. Let me see. Jewelry. You see, there's a lot. Here's wall art. Okay. So now we have aesthetic clothes, aesthetic. There's a lot of aesthetics things. So yeah, you have to use the tool the right way, like I said. But if you do, it's going to give you a lot of terms that you might not have thought of. And then you can put that into your listings, and then you can run the grade report, and then you can see the suggestions that Marmalead gives you to add more words to your listing. So you have to use all these tools in tandem. You can't just choose one. Well, you could, but you're going to get the best results if you use everything together and kind of in the right order. And I always start with the storm tool because it will give you the ideas that you can then go and use in your listings and then have Marmalead evaluate your grades and the whole thing. So that's the storm tool, and it hasn't really changed, I don't think. The words might have changed. I'm not sure how they change the ratings of things, but the use of it has not changed. Okay, the comparison tool allows you to put in 3 or 4 keywords and see if one is better than the other. So let's do boho bracelet. Okay, and I'm going to hit search on that one, and that's going to work. I'm going to put beaded bracelet. Make sure you spell it right. And you have to spell these things the right way. It does not correct for spelling, and it just looks at the word specifically that you type in. Okay, I'm going to put aesthetic bracelet, and you know what the heck that means? Whatever. I don't even care. I don't even know. I don't care. I know we're going to do bohemian bracelet. So basically what we're doing is we're comparing these 4 keywords to see just at a glance which one is quote unquote better. And what you think is better might be it's different from what I think is better, but that's up to you. So I would say of all of these, aesthetic bracelet is probably the best, even though the search and engagement is not as high. But look, the competition is low, and I always look for competition. I always look for competition. So then you have to figure out, is aesthetic really a good word for your item? Because yeah, it might be a better keyword based on what your judgment is, but it still might not apply to your item. Like I could look at these and go, oh, this one, I think this one is best, but I don't sell bracelets. So why would I put that in my listing? So just, again, use your brain. And then at the bottom, it's going to give you the tags that are the top tags for a sample of the listings that they've looked at. For the keyword aesthetic bracelet, those listings that have that in it also have these tags. So you can take a look at that to get ideas. It's the same kind of thing. All right, so that hasn't really changed much, but that's how you use that tool. Again, then you go and put it into the whole search tool. It'll give you more information about it, and you can see if that's a good word to use. Okay, tracking, if you want to track keywords and show their use, like the search engagement and competition over time, you can do that. And that's actually a good thing to do if you want to see if the competition in your niche for that keyword has increased or decreased. And generally it's going to increase because there's so many more sellers on Etsy now. But let's say that you sell boho bracelets. So I'm going to put in boho bracelet, and this isn't going to give me information right now. I'm going to click search. You have to come back in a few days because this starts when you put this in. Okay. I don't know if it's retroactive or not, but it's good to just take the main keywords that you are trying to compete for, or the main categories, just to get information about that category on Etsy. And this is specifically for Etsy. This isn't for Google. It's not for other websites. It's not for eBay, whatever. This is specifically for Etsy, and it's going to give you information about that specific keyword over time. But you do have to give it time. So just make sure that you go and fill that out for the things that you wanted to look at. I'm going to skip trending for now because that's an interesting change. This is a good one. But the other thing that has not changed is my list. And remember that we made a list for beaded when we were looking at the storm tool. This is where your keyword lists are kept. Okay. And you can create a new one. Let's say I want to do necklaces, right? Oops, necklaces. I could do that and just hit the orange thing there, and that there are no words in it, but I can add keywords in it. And this is good if you want to go back. I'm going to go back to my list. Let's look for beaded. And this is the only keyword that I have in here, but I can add more to it. So you can add a keyword here. If you're in the storm tool, again, you just add it to the list by clicking on the little icon. And again, here you can hover over stuff. Basically in Marmalead, if you have a question about something, hover over it to see if it comes up with more information about that category. All right, and then your history is the history of the things that you have typed in. So in case you forget to put things on a list, which could happen, then you can go back to your history and see that. So those are basically the parts of Marmalead that have not really changed, but they're very handy. All right. And the storm tool is my favorite because that's where you're going to get a lot of really good ideas that you might not have thought of, but that Marmalead is saying these are related to this keyword. So take a look at this one, but you do have to tell it yes or no. You can't just ignore the ones that don't work because then you won't get new suggestions. and you're not using the tool right. Okay, so give this video a thumbs up, and I will be back with the trending tool. Look at that, because that's a good one.